and I'm back with a new resident of the city of St. Clair, a recent resident, the last 4 years or so, Summer Hanford. Nice to meet you. Welcome
nice
to
to
St.
meet you,
Clair.
Thank you.
You are a very interesting person, I understand. We have a mutual friend by the name of Marcella Costin, and she had you at her wonderful boutique, Marcella's, last weekend for a book signing. So you are an author. Talk to me about that.
Well, I have written several books, but this is the first one I've managed to get anyone to publish. So it's been a big accomplishment for me.
What is the name of your book?
Gift of the Aluien.
The Aluien.
Yes.
Now, it looks like it is a medieval
It's a
story?
fantasy novel, and it takes place in medieval times.
That's a very popular subject these days, isn't it?
Fantasy is. More of them seem to be more magical realism, but fantasy in general is, yes, very popular.
You wrote 2 previous books. What were the subjects?
Fantasy.
Fantasy?
Yes, yeah. They were different stories in different fantasy worlds, but the same general idea.
How did you get into becoming an author and writing?
Well, I've always wanted to be a writer since I was little. The first books I read were fantasy books, and that's what I wanted to do. I did veer off in college and think, I can't be a writer. Nobody can make a living as a writer.
Right.
Which I
and finding out.
Yes, and that still may be true, but I'm trying.
Right. So your inspiration was your childhood and the love of fantasy. Yeah. You told me that you recently went to a fantasy convention. Didn't know there was that kind of a thing.
I did, and it's more serious than I think people are thinking. It's not like a Star Trek convention. Not
yeah,
that
you
those
weren't
aren't
wearing
wonderful.
funny hats or...
Right. It's a lot of panels where they have serious discussions about the role of religion in fantasy or what type of monsters it's acceptable to have in fantasy. They're serious discussions if you're a fantasy writer.
Mm-hmm. You brought a couple pictures. Now, the guys will throw them up on the screen here. And this is from your recent trip a week or so ago to Toronto. And this is at Marcella's.
That's actually from my book signing on Saturday. Yeah.
How did the book signing go at Marcella's?
It went great. Everybody was so nice. A lot of people came. A lot of people bought the bracelet Marcella made to go with the book.
If Allie, can you get a picture of the Marcella here? Well, she did this. What did she design here? What did she do?
Well, it has moonstones because
These are the moonstones?
Mm-hmm.
Because of the story?
Right, the Aluiens, the magical race in the book, they glow like the moon. So.
And what is this next piece here then?
Well, those are freshwater pearls.
Okay.
And the colors of the monarchy, the ruling monarchy, are the blue and gray. So she made it match that, and she put the crown for the crown prince.
Wow.
So.
Okay, now let's look at this other picture here. What's this?
That is the book signing room at the convention in Toronto.
Wow.
This is where authors all get spaces at the tables, and everyone comes in with books you've already purchased mostly, and you walk around and get all your favorite authors to sign your books.
Just amazing. How many people were at the convention?
1,000. They cap it at 860 invitees, and then there's staff, the authors, and everyone that shows up. So it's 1,000 is the cap.
And they were from all over the world?
Yes.
That had to be just exciting.
It is. It is. It's fun to listen, especially there were Australians and English people there, and their perspective on fantasy, it's different from, our perspective.
The Twilight Series, that's a fantasy series, right?
Yes, it is.
Does that inspire you? Do you like that kind of fantasy, or is yours a little different, or how do I compare?
Well, Twilight or Harry Potter or even Hunger Games is in our future. They're all more magical realism. They take place in our world, whereas my novel is high fantasy, so it takes place in a completely imaginary, made-up world. So that would be the biggest difference. This would be more Tolkien style, Lord of the Rings style fantasy.
Okay. Your book would be.
Yes, it would be.
Now, do you have a website?
I do.
Okay, and what's the website?
It is summerhanford.com.
And spell that for the people.
It is SUMMER.
Just like normal summer.
Like the season. Hanford is HANFORD.
Just like it sounds. .com.
Mm-hmm.
And they can get more information about you and your writing and order a book.
Yes.
Is the book available like on Amazon and all those places?
Any place that you would want to buy a book, yes. Any format as well.
The fun thing I remember from 5 years ago or 10 years ago, the education world was worried about people not reading anymore, that they were only going to watch television and play games on their things. And reading has exploded, hasn't it? And
It has,
books.
especially for young adults, really, with the Harry Potter series and the Twilight, like you mentioned, and the Hunger Games. It really has.
So, are you thinking of another your next book, or?
I've actually written 1.5 more books for this series so far, and I plan 5 books overall for this series.
And the movie rights, are they knocking on your door?
We can only hope someday.
Well, I encourage people to take a look at the website and pick up a copy of the book, and I think it's really exciting. You have to keep us in the loop and tell us how things are going.
Thank you, I will.
Have you missed anything here?
I guess I would just like to mention that it was really nice of the Martin Sisters Publishing to pick up my book, because I've been working on this for years. And
where is the
great
Martin
that someone gave
Sisters
me a
Publishing?
chance.
Is that a local?
That is in Kentucky. It's a small publisher in Kentucky.
Okay.
Yep.
Congratulations to that. Thank you very much,
you.
and you did a great job. Thank you very much, and we wish you luck.